bit of a unique experience. It was actually pretty cool with this. Well, actually, the first time I watched this film, it was I had watched it like right before a tornado, like the sirens were going off, and then I put on the movie Twister before we had to go and get in the shelter thingamabob. But But then when I finally got to watch this without, like because the first time I watched it, like the sirens were going off right afterward, because I had got it on VHS and I watched it, but then right afterward, it was, the sirens went on. So I turned on Twister and then the Twister ended up passing us. True story. But the, uh, but the, But the first full time that I got to watch it, that I didn't watch it at home, was when I watched it at school, and it was interesting because it came out in '99, you know, and the thing with the movie is that this African American woman was our substitute teacher, and she put on the movie for us. And there would be times when like a classmate would have to like be excused because this part or that part of the movie was making them sick. So it was so controversial in a time when we all did not know what controversial was to be. Certain parts of the movie made us feel uncomfortable, and it was just a very interesting experience because it's something that I think back on, and it's like nobody was really old enough to fully understand that it was troubling them to the point where they should say something about it. We just watched it, and people just would be excused when a certain part of the movie each affected them, and they would just leave at certain times, and it was always because you would see you would see that they would just that the movie was affecting them. And so it was just a very unique experience because we didn't get told anything about it. It was put on, and you know throughout the movie, people, like, some people would leave and then another person would come back, another person would, it was just, you could tell it wasn't just bathroom breaks. You could tell by the people that parts of the film were really making people either uncomfortable or upset, or it was just very interesting when I think back to it, that depending on what happened in the movie, it affected some differently than the others. But instead of telling the teacher, they would just excuse themselves and they would come back later. But it was just interesting because you could always tell. I mean, we spent school years with each other, to the point where you could tell it just wasn't a bathroom break. They physically had to leave because the movie was affecting them in a certain way. So yeah, very unique experience I feel watching the movie around people. Yeah. Um the first time I watched it, it was basically just, you know, I got in the VHS of it, popped it on, watched it, and then, you know, like I said, there were the sirens and all that. But I just didn't have time to fully process it, because it just was like all quiet when I put it on. And right afterward, right afterward, like right when at the end, like right when it was ending, before the credits rolled, I had to shut off, put on Twister, and yeah. Because remember, for those who've seen all of my live streams, whenever I put on Twister, it passes me, and it never touched ground. Meaning, I've never been in a place where when I put on the movie Twister, it just, you know, it never affects my area because I've always put on Twister before I turned. I always turned on Twister before I left or before the tornado was supposed to hit. So yeah, oh, yeah, that's my experience with the movie Bowfinger. Yep. I hope I made it clear. I hope I said the title a few times. Yeah. Um,